Were you aware that Carl intended to start a new life with Chastity? That he'd gone so far as to buy the plane tickets?
No. And I don't see why he'd think Chaz would go with him.
But you had noticed he was showing an interest in her again?
Yes, about a week before. Marriage to Dan. He was upset about it, but I wouldn't call it an interest. It was more like a fixation. I told him he should leave her alone and move on.
And Chastity was the source of friction between Carl and your father?
I believe so.
You're not sure?
I kept out of things between them.
Did you ever see Carl physically fight with your father?
Sometimes it came to blows, yes. But I have no reason to believe he had anything to do with his murder.
No further questions.
Hello, Jimmy. Now, you worked with Carl in the family business for most of your life.
That's right.
So you worked and lived with him for a long time. You must have known Carl very well.
Yes.
Would you say you hated your brother?
Well, no. I hated the things he did. He could be cruel. He had a way of making you feel really small. And he had a temper.
Did you love your brother?
What?
Well, you didn't hate Carl, so would you say that you loved him, despite the fights? You had good times, evenings together at the pub? He was godfather to your daughter Angelica. You played golf together on the weekends.
Yes.
So, how often would you say you were happy with your brother?
I wouldn't say happy.
So you'll miss him? Jimmy, do you miss your brother?
I miss him, yes. You want me to say that he loved her? Well, yes, okay? He loved her. In his own horrible, screwed-up way. He never stopped loving Chaz.
Even after she duped him into a sham marriage and took his money? Even after she married Daniel Spencer and Carl himself had a relationship with Megan Macy?
Yes.
Just one final question, then. Why would you say a man you knew very well, having worked and lived with, happily, approximately 3/4 of the time, try to kill the love of his life?
I don't know. Perhaps he snapped.
Perhaps he snapped. Did you personally see any signs of madness in him? Any behavior towards the end which would make you doubt his sanity?
I told you, he could be cruel. He chucked us out of his house. He had a temper.
Enough to kill the love of his life.
I don't know.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Don't worry, it's over. It doesn't prove anything.
Hey, what don't prove anything?
Well done, Jimmy. Have you ever thought of a career in law? Oh, shut your face. You know if you screw this up, she's going down, don't you? I hope they tear you apart.
I do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Do you believe Chastity is capable of planning murder?
No, no way. She's not capable. I've never met anyone more generous and caring. Carl was a psychopath. She was just trying to protect herself.
Has she shown remorse for her actions?
Yeah, of course. Every day. You know, every day she suffered because of what he did to her.
Oh, what?
We can do without the interjections from the gallery, thank you.
She suffered. She doesn't deserve to be punished anymore.
How did Chastity react when she learnt that Carl intended to blackmail you both over the affair?
She was upset. We called it off, and this just raked it all back up.
Was she angry at Carl?
No, not really. I was the one who was angry.
Because you had the more to lose. A partner with a very sick child.
Yeah.
What about her relationship with Carl before the blackmail? Was their breakup amicable?
No.
Yet they lived in the same village. And Carl frequently visited the pub that Chastity Part owns, which she bought with the money taken under false pretenses from Carl. Did Chastity ever express anger toward Carl?
Carl was a wind-up merchant. Anyone will tell you that.
What would he say to her?
I don't know. Load of stuff. Pick on her.
Right, so she'd see him most days, and he'd pick on her.
Yeah.
He blackmailed money from you both, threatening to destroy the relationship between Chastity and her family, a family that meant everything to her. And when she learned of this blackmail, she was mostly upset. Mr. Murray, could you please look at me? Not angry.
Not angry enough to kill him.
Babe, they don't believe him. She's proved that Jazz had a motive. How can you be happy? Nobody wins in any of this.
I will just feel better knowing that she's lost more than most, all right?
I'd like to say something. Please, it's important.
Well, very well.
I know Chaz didn't murder Carl.
Mr. Murray, how do you know? It's a simple question, Mr. Murray.
Mr. Murray?
Because I know her. I know she couldn't do it.
No further questions, Your Honor.
She didn't do it.
That's all. Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have heard by her own admission that Chastity Spencer killed Carl King following a sustained period of blackmail. The defendant ascertains that this was out of self-defense, but I believe the evidence you have heard has irrefutably proven that this blackmail led directly to Carl's murder. And finally, in using his love of her to lure Carl into a sham wedding, we have heard how Mrs. Spencer has already proven herself capable of exacting an extreme and extraordinarily cruel act of revenge upon the deceased. Now, my learned friend has tried to present the fact that the accused admitted killing Carl King as evidence of her innocence. But all this is proven is the depth of her guilt. Guilt felt, having callously taken the life of a man who simply stood in her way.
Don't be fooled. Carl didn't love Chastity. He was dangerously and irrationally obsessed with her. This was a man who was so unstable, he had convinced himself that despite persecuting the accused with cruel threats and blackmail, she would still come to love him. Who was so deluded, he had already bought plane tickets, believing that on the day she was marrying someone else, Chastity would run away with him to start a new life. We have also heard that this obsessional behavior led him to acts of violence in the past. That Chastity's own niece, Deborah Dingle, was perhaps lucky not to be a further victim of Carl's rage. Despite all this, the prosecution has tried to paint a picture of Carl as, in essence, a family man. Yet even by his own brother's admission, we have heard just how violent and cruel the real Carl could be. Chastity has freely admitted that she may have struck the blow that ended Carl's life. She will have to live with the guilt of that for the rest of her life. But this was no vicious, premeditated assault. It was the act of a desperate and frightened woman whose only crime was to fall in love with someone she shouldn't. I urge you to acquit her.
Let there be no doubt. If you are sure the accused intended to cause Carl King serious harm, and she was not acting in self-defense, you must convict. However, if there's a possibility that Chastity Spencer was acting in self-defense, you must acquit. I ask you now to deliberate and return with your verdict. Court adjourned.
Take a good look. You're not going to be seeing her for a while.
Charity.
How do you think she's going to cope on the inside? I reckon from all the snivelling she's been doing, it doesn't look like she's going to tough it out. What do you think? This isn't helping anyone.
No, she's right. How does it feel to have ruined so many lives for a bunk up with a dried old tart?
Debbie, please.
No, come back. Come on. What have you got to say for yourself? No. I didn't think so.
Hey.
Hiya.
I've been singing carols and I ate Santa's boot.
Did you?
Yeah, I've been getting all Christmassy. In fact, Andy was wondering if you fancied coming over to his for Christmas lunch.
Oh, we're going to Grandad's.
See, I told you.
All right. Well, maybe it's another time then, eh? See you later, Pet.
See you later. Mwah. See you later.
Kerry's nice, but she's not very good at singing.
Is she not?
Do me a favour, sweetheart. You go and dump these upstairs. You've barely said a word all day. I reckon it's looking good, you know. I know she's gonna go down for this. Babe, what is it?
Yeah, it's so bad. To hear him talking about her. She's the most caring person he's ever met. He loves her.
Listen to me. You cannot let him get to you, all right? Or her.
I can't help it.
Well, then we shouldn't have gone. You know we don't have to go to the verdict tomorrow.
Yeah, we do. Because I want to see her get sent down for it.